Florida not in the field, but that doesn't matter. They are playing with their heart on their sleeve. Their toughness is evident here in Greenville. And a quick scramble, but Ole Miss will corral the basketball. And into the hands of Madison Scott it goes.
The first play of the game, it was Aaliyah Matharu for Florida that got a defensive play, and that really sparked the Gators. Will she be that force, that impact today?
That one almost tipped in. This one up and in for Rita Ibakwe. Florida's starting five. Faith Duke could be really key for them inside, too. She has a great basketball IQ.
Kelly Ray Finley told us that Duke's like a quarterback. She wants to run the offense through that post player, and Duke is a terrific passer.
There's going to be a travel on Ole Miss. Ole Miss's lineup right here. We talked about Madison Scott already, but Kennedy Todd Williams has been a nice addition from North Carolina, spent 3 seasons there before transferring over. We've seen her run the point guard position as well.
I think that you're going to see a rotation between Madison Scott, Kennedy Todd Williams, even Marquisha Davis at times will handle the basketball, start the offense for the Rebels.
It's point guard by committee after KK Deans went down with an injury earlier in the season. Smith Collins in the corner.
Rolled in and out. Now, the first meeting, it was Ole Miss that struggled. It was Florida that struggled to score. Second meeting, it was Ole Miss that struggled to score. Both teams made a comeback, but Ole Miss won both of the games.
Marquisha Davis up and elevates, but too much. Ibakwe just short. Another chance for Ole Miss, and this time it finishes. Marquisha Davis. She's their leading scorer at 13.8 points per game.
Quee, as Coach O calls her, like she's got a great model, a great motor, and a fierce competitor, but there goes Aaliyah Matharu.
Watch out, coming off that career-high 35 points.
If she can stay on the floor, she's got to stay out of foul trouble. Because she has fouled out of 7 games this season.
Up and in for Smith Collins. Subs waiting at the table. It looks like Kelly Ray Finley also is trying to check in for Florida. She was kneeling down with her 3 subs at the scorer's table. But when subs come in, you know that means Leilani Correa, the SEC's 6th Woman of the Year. She averages 17.3 points off the bench, double figures in all but 1 SEC regular season game.
Now, because Aaliyah Matharu was playing so well last night, got to the 5-minute mark, Correa wasn't in the ball game yet, and Kelly Ray went over to Correa and said, stay ready, your time's coming, but as long as Matharu's cooking, you gotta let her cook.
Jariah Warren with the blast. Her 15th three-pointer of the season. Smith Collins will take the short corner. And that's a foul on Kennedy Todd Williams.
The attack, the unselfishness, the pitch. Jariah Warren knocking down the 3. Florida has so many weapons from the perimeter that can shoot the basketball. And I think that is going to keep a lot of pressure on Ole Miss defense.
And Ole Miss is a great defensive team. They're 4th in the SEC in scoring defense, 3rd in the nation in blocks per game. Matharu thought about it. Last touch by Ole Miss. Well, Yolette McPhee-McEwen, known as Coach Yo, picked up her 100th win in their last game against Arkansas, her 100th win at Ole Miss. She has just continued to raise the standard of this program year after year. They went to the Sweet 16 last year.
And I think they have defined their identity first as a defensive team and then as an attacking offensive team.
Birdie Rimdahl with a triple for Florida.
That's 2 on Kennedy Todd Williams.
Yeah, the offensive foul there. So Todd Williams will have to check out. Zakiya Stevenson, the freshman out of Virginia, subs in to replace her.
And you got a freshman who's got her hands full of a veteran like Matharu.
Florida 3 for 3 from behind the arc. This a 2 from Matharu. And Birdie Rimdahl, love the hustle to get there.
You see Marquisha Davis recover and get out in the... Yeah, that's great defense.
Kelly Rae Finley, after last night's win, she said, you know, we didn't play with fear coming out against Vanderbilt. We were playing to win, and she loves that mentality that Florida has brought to the SEC tournament. It's the first time that the Gators have won 2 games here at this tournament since 1997.
It's been a long time. But I like the mind space that Kelly Rae Finley has this team. They're confident, they're playing together, and you see them feed off of each other.
We got to talk to her earlier today, and she told us 2 of their key players, Zippy Broughton, Aaliyah Matharu, they've gone through ups and downs this season, but they are both playing their best basketball right now. That's what you want. You got to peak in March.
Watching Kelly Rae Finley, how she interacts with the players on the floor. She'll dap them up. She keeps them engaged, hyped up throughout the ball game.
Both of these coaches do. Coach Yo's playing every play on the other end. Four seconds on the shot clock. They throw it into Madison Scott. Second chance shot clock did not reset. But they'll say she got the shot off in time.
Erin Kindred is another player that can be a force for Florida inside.
She's number 21 in orange. And that's off of the Gators. It'll be Ole Miss basketball.
How impressed were you with Ole Miss when they came out of the locker room to practice a couple of days ago? They only had 45 minutes on the court, and I mean, from the time they entered the tunnel, the intensity was there.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was only yesterday, Coach.
I feel like
we've been here for a lifetime.
That's right, it was yesterday.
This is going to stay with Ole Miss. But yeah, the intensity that they practice with, I mean, they come out, they're immediately down to business.
And when they were going through the rotations defensively, you know, we saw them work out and practice in Oxford. There was a difference. There was a distinct difference between the starters and the reserves. And watching them practice yesterday, defensively, you couldn't tell a difference. Her young players have now bought into the system and understand the level of intensity they've got to play with.
That goes out of bounds off of Zakiya Stevenson. She has had to check in this game because Kennedy Todd Williams has 2 fouls. Both of these squads playing for a shot at LSU tomorrow in the semifinals.
Look how intense defensively, the pressure on the ball.
That foul is on Taya Singleton of Ole Miss. Correa hasn't attempted a shot yet for Florida. And she's covered up right now by Stevenson.
She hadn't found any daylight.
Blocked. And Bakwe got a hand on it, and she'll get the rebound. One of those heads on the 3-headed monster is on the bench right now in foul trouble. That's Kennedy Todd Williams for Ole Miss. And Layla Reynolds going to the basket aggressively and going to the free throw line.
Let me go back to talking about Ole Miss not having a point guard. They were going to rely on KK Deans, who transferred in. She went down with a season-ending injury, and really what they had was Zakiya Stevenson, that's a freshman. And that's really tough. And a program that plays at the level of competition and the intensity that you get from Coach O, that's really tough. And so it's been point guard by committee since KK Dean's been out.
Yeah, KK Dean's actually transferred from Florida to Ole Miss. Got a knee injury against Michigan in the non-conference after 6 appearances.
Now, Ole Miss is looking and hunting for paint points where Florida, they can get you from the three-point line.
Carissa Richardson, count it.
And Richardson just continues to get better in her development. She's so strong when she can take the ball inside in the paint and finish through contact.
That's the first foul on Aaliyah Matharu. Erin Kindred back in the game for the Gators. Kinza Saugus checks in also for Florida. Rita Bakwe with the offensive rebound. Ooh, Ole Miss can't save it a second time, but they certainly tried.
Oh, that was a good defensive interchange by Richardson.
Matharu probing, and a foul on the floor. That's on Mariah Noel. Madison Scott checks back in with Aaliyah Matharu at the free throw line. Started her career at Mississippi State in the SEC, was there for 2 seasons, then went to Texas with her coach Vic Schaefer for a year, and now a Florida Gator. Had to sit out last year after transferring.
She has been a great pickup for Kelly Rae Finley. An experienced point guard who can score. We saw that last night.
Yeah, 35 times. Layla Reynolds trying to step around Snooda Collins, and she's fouled. Brooke, we heard Florida had a pretty intense pregame speech today.
Yeah, they were pretty fueled up, and thanks to assistant coach Cynthia Jordan, who always has something special up her sleeve. Today, it was all about fueling up and starting this game on fire. So far, the Florida Gators with the 3-point lead, so something about that gas can is working right for head coach Kelly Rae Finley, assistant coach Cynthia Jordan, and the squad.
Is there actual gasoline in there, Brooke?
Thankfully, no, there's not.
Okay, great. Didn't think so.
It's more of a metaphorical approach.
Right,
Gotcha.
just figurative.
Yeah,
Easy killer.
I'm just asking all the questions. They didn't light it on fire or anything.
Now, that'd be something.
I'm glad they did.
No, they were bringing the heat. They didn't need to light it on fire.
I like that, though. Gives you a visual to latch onto.
Yeah, and my understanding is that CJ does that before games. Remember, she worked at South Carolina for Coach Don Staley. And talk about a player, she played at Temple, but plays with passion, coaches with passion. That's what she's bringing to the Gators.
Florida's had a great run already, and they want to keep that going, winning 2 games here at this tournament for the first time since '97. Marquisha Davis up and in on the second opportunity.
Offensive boards have been beneficial for Ole Miss.
We've got 5 of them. Layla Reynolds, she gets to the basket, but Can't finish. And Stevenson stepped out of bounds.
Talk about fire. Get hot. Some kerosene. Light them up. Well, that's been the offense for the Florida Gators. From the perimeter, they got off to a good start tonight in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, 3 for 3 from behind the arc. A Florida team that shoots 32%, 6th in the SEC from three-point range. Leilani Correa with her first points. Again, a player that averages 17 a game, only had 3 last night.
That's a benefit that Florida has. With Matharo on the bench, Correa can bring the offense.
Jariah Warren, her first foul. And Marquisha Davis at the free throw line.
We haven't seen it yet. And what I expected from both teams was full court pressure. I thought we were going to see that for 40 minutes, but both teams have been more concerned with getting back in transition defense. I want to see the full court pressure. That's when it really gets hot.
Oh, let's go. 1 for 2 from Marquisha Davis. Faith Duke running the floor, using the left hand.
Look, and that is a set off a free throw, make or miss, transition offense.
Noel inside, Madison Scott finds it. Rebound by Stevenson. Fresh 20 here. Marquisha Davis, she was just at the free throw line, she'll go back. First foul on Zippy.
The transition off a missed free throw. Watch how Faith Duke runs the floor. Zippy Broughton putting it ahead of the defense to get the easy 2.
Erin Kindred will check back in for Florida to replace Faith Duke. Taya Singleton in the game again for Ole Miss.
I think Coach Hill wants them to pick up full court, everybody to get matched. She wasn't too happy about getting beat in transition after a missed free throw.
That's off of Florida. It's going to stay with the Rebels.
Coach Hill's been pretty calm today.
She has been.
She hasn't broken down to a defensive stance just yet.
That will happen. We're only in the first quarter.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be a turnover. Mariah Noel just couldn't handle it. 5 turnovers apiece early on here in the first quarter. Noel out, Zakiya Stevenson back in.
Stevenson doesn't want to reach on Matharo, because if you reach on her, she definitely will teach.
Matharo getting her own rebound. And the second chance comes when you see a player like Leah Matharo have 35 last night. What are you thinking coming into this game on how to stop her?
You've got to stunt or you got to trap, but you cannot allow her to freely maneuver, getting to the second, third level of the defense.
And you can't let her get an offensive board on her own miss.
Especially when, other than Zakiya Stevenson, she's the smallest player on the floor.
5'7", uses every inch of it.
I think that's when she's in her high heel Air Jordan. But you watch with the two at the top, the ball screen, you got isolation in the paint.
Ole Miss can take the last shot of the quarter.
That's an inexperienced freshman there. You got to get the ball with the clock running down to Davis.
Aaliyah Matharu has it up to Leilani Correa. The logo three is off the front of the rim, and she took a funny step too.
Can't be there and not sacrifice a foul trying to make a hero play. Putting size on Correa, making every shot that she's attempting tough.
Yeah, she's 1 for 5. Arquisha Davis has 9 points, and you can tack on a couple more.
There's that mid-range.
Arquisha. We were sitting in, Coach Yo was kind enough to let us sit in a film session earlier in the season, and she just dropped Arquisha on us.
That's what she calls her in practice.
Yep. She scored 9 of Ole Miss's last 11 points. Oh, Broughton short on the lay-in. Kennedy Todd Williams out there with 2 fouls. And Birdie Rimdahl gets her first.
Marquisha Davis gets a lot of her buckets. Is this right here? Coming in transition. Oh, behind the back. Pull up. Bottom. That's the style. That's how Ole Miss wants to play.
Already 11 points from Arquisha, who averages about 14 a game. Remember, winner gets LSU in the semifinal tomorrow. Tennessee and South Carolina is our first semifinal of the day.
Ooh. Oh, I thought that one could have been a moving screen on Snetta Collins.
Angel Reese looking on after her double-double tonight. Faith Duke turned it over after making a great rebounding play.
I thought Duke had possession, but the shot clock did not reset.
Second foul on Taya Singleton of Ole Miss.
With this Ole Miss lineup too, when they come back to the offensive end, Kennedy Todd Williams and Madison Scott, they're interchangeable. Can play 3 and 4. They can find an opportunity of where they can post up.
Kendrick whistled for her first.
There's only three rebound difference, but on the offensive glass, Ole Miss is +4.
But they only have 4 second chance points. Actually, Florida has more second chance points than Ole Miss does. A 2 for Kennedy Todd Williams.
Another offensive rebound.
And Carissa Richardson puts it up in. We got to see firsthand what she can do with a career-high 21 points against Tennessee in the regular season. This will stay with Florida.
We were Knoxford. Coach O spent, I know, an hour and a half on transition defense. That was an area she was not happy with. And she told us in shoot-around or practice yesterday, much improved in that area, and a big part of that is the communication. You got to talk. You got to talk about who's got what, because it may not be your initial assigned person, but if you take somebody else, you got to tell somebody to get yours.
And she told us, too, she's seeing the younger players understand it more. They're having to think a little bit less, and it's coming more naturally.
Sometimes freshmen come in and they're afraid to say anything because they don't know what to say, but it takes a while to learn it.
Kelly Rae Finley calls timeout as Kennedy Todd Williams, smooth and silky to the hoop to tie it.
I hope Angel Reese is able to go tomorrow. I gotta believe if she can stay here at the arena, wants to watch her opponent, who she possibly could play tomorrow, then she's planning on playing.
What have you noticed about early on in this game, Coach Beck? Tied up at 21 all.
Ole Miss is attacking the paint. They're going in the paint to eat, and it is paying off.
18 points worth of eating.
You know, Nikki Fargas talked about shot selections for Florida. They cannot just settle in. If it's not your night and those perimeter shots aren't coming, then you've got to be aggressive to the rim as well, especially with the pressure defense they're getting from Ole Miss.
Carissa Richardson couldn't split the double team. Matharu will pull it back out. She's leading the Gators right now with 9 points.
See, everybody on the floor for Ole Miss the same size. They can switch all screens. That's making it tough for Florida.
And it forces the Gators into a turnover. Seven turnovers for Florida, 6 for Ole Miss. Alana Eaton out, Marquisha Davis back in.
Moving around now. We talked about the different positions Madison Scott could play. Now inside at the 4.
It's going to be the second foul on Aaliyah Matharu. And this has been a problem, her getting into foul trouble. Now, Kelly Rae Finley did trust her yesterday because she was playing so well offensively. They let her play with those 2 fouls in the first half.
And she played very disciplined.
Yes.
Yeah, she didn't gamble. You know, didn't even make any plays questionable. If the offense penetrated in, you could see her with her hands up. She didn't even attempt to block shots so that she could stay available on the offensive end.
So you can tell they have that trust between a head coach and her player to stay in there, especially with the veteran that Matharu is.
Yeah, she's still out there. And now, if I'm Ole Miss, though, whoever Matharu is guarding, I'm either getting them a play to the basket or I'm trying to post her up.
That's a turnover. 8th turnover by the Gators. Faith Duke checking back in for Florida. So we'll see, does Ole Miss go after Aaliyah Matharu?
Well, Stevenson's about her same size, so you've got to have Stevenson taking it off the bounce.
Florida basketball.
Two, putting her in ball screens. So if they've got a switch, you're going to have a mismatch as well. So then you could get a bigger player matched up on number 5 in orange. Oh, that's a good switch by Richardson.
Matharu gets the shot off. Rebound by Madison Scott.
Ooh, Madison Scott almost traveled.
And there's an offensive foul down low on Carissa Richardson.
Richardson just a little too aggressive. Trying to post up in transition. As a coach, I don't mind that. You want a player who wants the basketball.
Broughton over to Matharu. Pick and roll with Faith. Duke looks good.
If the defense does not, they got to make a decision. They either have to go and drop coverage and stay with the post or go with the ball handler. But if you just float no man's land, that's what you end up with.
Well, Zippy Broughton is on the floor in pain right now. And there was an offensive foul called against Rita Ibakwe. Broughton took a hard hit.
she's up and smiling. That's a good sign.
Yes.
You can really tell that collision.
Matharu, free throw line. Ole Matharu, 3 for 9. And Stevenson turned it over. Up ahead to Leilani Correa.
Madison Scott, that was discipline right there because you know she wanted to go try to block it, but she knows also that she's got to be available, can't get into foul trouble, got to stay in the game.
Right past the defense goes Zakiya Stevenson.
That little freshman's got no fear.
She's come in and give Ole Miss some good minutes tonight. She's number 88 overall in her class, won back-to-back state titles before coming to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss turning the ball over and Florida turning that into buckets. This game has been back and forth. It has been expected to be close because both of these teams, like, they bring it defensively and they can score it at a high pace.
Ole Matharu, though, just picked up her third foul, so she has checked out for Florida.
You know, that may not be a bad thing for Florida, and this will surprise you. But sometimes when you've got two scorers on the floor, like Correa and Matharu, it's hard to decide who to go to. With Matharu on the bench in foul trouble, Correa knows now she's got to step her game up.
So we'll see how Leilani Correa responds. She has 4 points, 2 of 6 from the field, 4 rebounds. The SEC's 6th Woman of the Year.
She talked about she knew Ashlyn Watkins could be in competition for that, but she was going to give him the show. She was
make
gonna
sure
go get
that
it.
there was no question.
No question.
Now, Correa started SEC play this season with 3 straight 30-point games.
Just a walk in the park. That's a good switch by Carissa Richardson defensively. She switched again. Big girl's moving her feet.
She's on Zippy Broughton, and Zippy beats her to the bucket. And gets her to foul for the second time.
But see, that's what's so tough about a big post player. You've got them in so many switches, and you are rotating, switching. And I mean, it's down to the end of the shot clock. But that's when the breakdown happens and the foul is committed.
Rattles out, and Kennedy Todd Williams will hit the gas. Second foul on Birdie Rimville.
I'm watching Ole Miss running in transition, and like Vanderbilt, Kennedy Todd Williams has the basketball, and everybody is running even with her. You should be able to outrun the ball handler, and then the Rebels are getting out ahead for the pass. If you're going to run, run. But what you don't want to be caught in the middle is you're coming in transition. Everybody's in the same level, and you jack up a shot. You didn't run a secondary offense, nor did you get primary offense as well.
Ole Miss is going to take a timeout here, tied at 29.
So far, she only has 4 points, number 23 in orange.
How do they get her going more?
I think that you've got to run more screens for her because of the switching, and then you can screen and slip or screen and pop.
Zippy Broughton fade away. Ernie Kindred with the rebound. Fresh 20. And Broughton to the basket.
And that's what's got to happen. Broughton attack because defense is not helping off of Correa. So she can keep the floor spread.
Kennedy Todd Williams had a look. I'm not sure what the call is. The official was pointing to the backboard.
Well, it hit underneath. Yeah, it hit underneath, so it should be going Gators basketball. It's Kennedy Todd Williams. It went underneath on the backside of the backstop.
Yeah, so this is Florida ball. They reversed that call. Rimdahl. Oh, aggressive jump ball, possession arrow to Ole Miss. This Ole Miss team, a top 4 seed in this tournament for the 3rd straight year, their highest seed since 1992. They're projected in the NCAA tournament to be a 7 seed according to Charlie Cream.
Let's see how they score against this 2-3 zone.
Marquisha Davis misses the 3. Correa, back over to Reynolds.
You guys, one thing I'm noticing, looking at the stats for Ole Miss, there are no assists yet on the boards for the Rebels. This could be their first one there. So for a team that has so many scores and plays so much unselfish basketball, Carolyn, do you credit that to the Florida defense or just the way that Ole Miss needs to change their offense?
I think that Ole Miss needed to change their offense. They got to move the basketball, quit trying to do so much one-on-one.
Although that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one. And also, Ole Miss scoring off offensive rebounds, getting put back up, second chance opportunities. There are 9 for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss with its first lead since it was 6-3.
Marquisha Davis, I think the tempo would favor Ole Miss if the game got a little bit faster.
Third foul on Birdie Rimdahl of Florida puts Marquisha Davis at the free throw line.
So now you got Rimdahl and Matharu with 3 fouls. That could be crucial.
Yeah.
Those are 2, and especially perimeter threats. One of the things I've seen Florida change in is not just settling for jumpers, mid-range jumpers. They're trying to get to the rim and trying to get to the opportunity to get to the free throw line.
It's a 6-0 run by the Rebels. They've outscored Florida in the second quarter 20-12.
Oh, that's good defense by Snetta Collins.
But they call her for the foul.
Wow. It looked to me like she did not break the plane of verticality, and she pulled her hands back. Pulled her hands back, not to swat down. She didn't jump forward. That's a tough call.
That's the first on the second on Collins. Correa dribbles in the first shot. Correa up to 6 points. Snuda Collins waiting in the corner.
But she understood time and score. She wanted to get 2 for 1.
Zippy Broughton taking her time. And again, Florida continuing to drive at the basket and get themselves to the free throw line.
Well, that foul right there puts them to the free throw line. If you're not shooting the ball well, then you want to attack so that you're trying to either get a layup or you're getting time. You're getting free throw. You're getting time at the free throw line.
First 20 games, 2.6 points per game. But the last 10 games, Zippy Broughton's finding her shot more. And keep in mind, too, she had shoulder surgery over the summer. It took her a little bit longer than they projected to come back. But Kelly Rae Finley, the message has been, don't worry about what was supposed to happen. Worry about what's happening right now. Focus on yourself.
I thought that was a great message. And you don't know how much of pressure that takes off a player to hear your coach say, listen, we're not worried about what happened in the past. What you're doing right now is what we need you to do. And Zippy Broughton is bringing it.
Ole Miss can take the last shot of the quarter. Into Davis's hands, now Madison Scott, 3 seconds. Driving and free throws coming. Madison Scott topples into the cheerleaders.
That was a great, smart decision as the shot clock was running down. Instead of catching it and forcing up a shot over the defense, take the ball to the rim, draw that foul, and get to the free throw line. And she'll be the first one to apologize to those cheerleaders when she falls.
She got up and made sure they were all okay. That was the second foul on Erin Kindred. Stevenson comes in for the final 1.4 seconds of the half. Correa's numbers right now, she's got 6 points, but 2 of 6 from the field. And Ole Miss really keyed in on her, especially when she was on the floor and Aaliyah Matharu was on the bench with 3 fouls. They knew that they were going to look for Correa, and they didn't let the Gators do that.
Well, and right now, Marquisha Davis has the responsibility of Aaliyah Matharu.
And there's a travel on Layla Reynolds. Madison Scott, also, if they could get her going for Ole Miss. She had 27 points in the last meeting against Florida. Tonight, just 3.
But still, Matharu.
The acrobatics to finish it. Up to 11.
Madison Scott, though, is not just her scoring, getting on the glass and rebounding as well. It's what the Ole Miss needs.
That was a welcome sign put on the basket for Marquisha Davis. It was so open. There's 16 points now for Marquisha. She's over her season average of 14 a game.
Matharu is trying to be an impact from the beginning. Watch how sneaky she is. She's over here in the corner, and she's going to sneak in from behind and steal the ball from Madison Scott, and then take it all the way to the basket.
High step into the hoop.
See Ryan Howard, former Kentucky Wildcat, now with the Atlanta Dream, that's on the staff of Kelly Rae Finley. She has really enjoyed on the coaching side. And I think a lot of times players become better players when they've got some experience coaching because they understand what coaches are asking.
Yeah, there's Ryan Howard, the former WNBA Rookie of the Year. What an addition, Brooke, for this staff.
Yes, and one of the big keys that that she teaches both posts and guards is how to create some space for themselves. You see Aaliyah Matharu able to get that shot off over Maddie and not get it blocked. So that's one of the big skills that just having a WNBA player on your staff doesn't hurt.
Hey, if there's anybody that was good at creating their space, it was Ryan Howard. Or is Ryan Howard.
Yeah, she's not done yet.
Aaliyah Matharu can create some space. The step through, use her body to protect the basketball, and gets it the ability to score over a taller player.
Ryan Howard was a part of that 2022 SEC Tournament Championship team that beat South Carolina in the final.
How fun was it to call games when it was Kentucky playing and it became Ryan time?
Oh, Ryan time was a scary time if you weren't Kentucky. It was the best time if you were Kentucky.
Absolutely. Florida going to a zone. Gonna force Ole Miss. They're gonna try to anyway. Make them take perimeter shots.
One-handed Marquisha Davis on the reverse.
She will not be denied. When she wants to get in the paint, that's where she's going.
18 now for Marquisha. Matharu got it back. Aaliyah Matharu, all 6 of Florida's points in this quarter. Correa working past Davis, got there, got the offensive board to the free throw line.
Marquisha Davis eating up that baseline and getting the reversal. Ooh, the crossover. Thinks she's coming back, and then she attacks. But Correa on that attack, she came up kind of funny. She was rubbing her knee.
And she's at the free throw line right now. Jogging down the court, trying to walk it off for Leilani Correa. Kennedy Todd Williams corrals it. No, turns it over to Faith Dude. In the corner, Aaliyah Matharu.
Ooh, Duke's gonna get called on that one.
First one on Faith Dude, and this will be Ole Miss basketball.
I think both these teams need to see who can get to the bonus first. Ole Miss has already 3 fouls, Florida only 1.
And Richardson traveled. This has been a close game all night. Florida only led by a point at the half. Up 4 here. Largest lead in the game has been for Florida. It was 8 points in the first quarter.
No major separation because both these teams, when they need to, they can turn the defense up, and a lot of times the gap is closed after forced missed shots or turnovers.
Third meeting this season between the two. Ole Miss won the first 2.
Look at the hustle. I love it when the players get on the floor.
Zakiya Stevenson, the freshman.
Richardson doesn't get screened, breaks up the exchange, and gets the basketball for the Rebels.
Sonata Collins will sub out.
And against the zone, that SEC on the floor, that's the best place to get the ball.
blocking foul on Erin Kindred. Her third.
Yeah, she was still and moving almost up the angle. The defender, they can move side to side and backwards. They just cannot step forward into the offense.
Warren's back in the ballgame as Marquisha Davis steps up to the free throw line. Already an outstanding night for her. 18 points, 4 rebounds.
I still hadn't seen the full court pressure I was expecting to see from both teams.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, both of these teams, especially Ole Miss, they hang their hat on their defense. They say dictate and disrupt. A lot of times you see them wearing T-shirts with that on it.
Well, and we talked to Coach O in games where the defense wasn't where it needed to be. They were late picking up the ball. She wants her players, as soon as the ball is inbounded, your one-on-one accountability's got to be there.
Florida has not had a field goal, though, in almost 3 minutes. Still hanging on to a 3-point lead.
Correa and Matharo on the floor at the same time.
Matharo with a take, but misses. Marquisha Davis has it for Ole Miss. And Leilani Correa stepping up to take the charge.
Oh, Coach O's got to be careful.
Remember, the arc on the floor does not apply in women's basketball.
Coach O's not happy about that one.
What did you think about the call?
It was hard to see from that angle. I mean, because that's to our far left. I couldn't see if the defense was able to beat Marquisha to the spot.
It was the second on Marquisha Davis. Three and a half minutes for the Gators without a field goal. Little spin for Matharo, making it fancy.
And Matharo could have drawn a foul on that as well. I thought there was contact, but the officials are letting him play.
Aaliyah Matharo with 17 points. That's the fourth on Birdie Rimdahl.
That's what I thought with these two teams. It was going to be a race to see who could get into the bonus first.
When it comes to free throw shooting, Ole Miss is 69% free throw shooting team, 10th in the conference. Florida's 7th in the conference at 71%. And there's a foul on the floor. Carissa Richardson was using all of her springs to get up in the air and try to get that rebound.
Well, that extra effort's going to get her to the free throw line.
The fourth on Erin Kindred. So some foul trouble here for Florida. Birdie Rimdahl and Erin Kindred both with 4 fouls.
Is that the 4th or 5th team foul?
4th.
Okay.
Tyus Singleton.
Richardson is battling on the glass.
Stevenson seeing a better look, too much. There goes Richardson again, unstoppable rebounding the basketball.
And see that again. An out of area rebounded, not just planted on the other side, but coming from the free throw line area, the extra effort. That's how you play when you want to continue your season and make it to the semifinals of the SEC tournament.
Florida has brought in Alexia Dizeko for the first time. been all Aaliyah Matharu here in the third quarter. 8 points for her, 1 point for the rest of their team. Matharu not out there right now. Three seconds for Correa. Swatted away by Kennedy Todd Williams. It will stay with the Gators, but 0.1 seconds on the shot clock. And Aaliyah Matharu, 17 points, 3 assists, 2 steals.
Aaliyah Matharu trying to put the Gators on her back. They want to make it to the semifinals. It's going to take some spectacular plays, even if you got to spin a little bit.
Just 0.1 on the shot clock.
It's got to be a tap.
Yep. Nope, can't catch it. It'll be a shot clock violation. Both of these teams looking towards Saturday here in the second half. It's been all close in this ball game. Florida hasn't been to an SEC semifinal since 1998, and for Ole Miss, they're seeking their third straight SEC semifinal.
It's a great compliment to what Coach Yo has done at Ole Miss and what Kelly Ray Finley is building at Florida.
Florida is the 11 seed in this tournament. They would be the first 11 seed or lower to advance to the semifinals if they can hang on. Foul on Zakiya Stevenson, her second.
Zakiya has done a tremendous job defensively today. And for the most part, she has kept her hands out and very visible for the officials. I think a sign of fatigue when a player drives and you put that inside arm in, the arm bar, that shows you're a little bit tired. I think it was time for her to get a little rest.
Scott elevating. Dizeko almost had the rebound. Back to Ole Miss here. Kennedy Todd Williams taking the baseline. Wanted the foul called. Didn't get that whistle. 8 seconds. Todd Williams for 3, no.
That's a good box out by Faith Duke. It's just been a free throw shooting contest in this third quarter.
That's the third on Marquisha Davis.
Coach Yo's got some decisions to make. Do you protect Marquisha Davis? Because that fourth quarter can be long the way the officials are calling fouls.
This third quarter's been long.
That it has. Well, the officials have, I think, tried to keep it pretty clean. They don't want it to get out of hand. And both teams looking to attack. They're both shooting 37% from the floor.
Ole Miss has hit one of its last 8 shots. Madison Scott, pretty. Looked great coming out of her hand. That was her first field goal tonight. 1 for 6. And an offensive foul on Layla Reynolds.
Ole Miss has the three-headed monster. Well, they share the basketball. They get it to each other. Watch how it's set up. It starts with Kennedy Todd Williams. Goes to Marquisha Davis, who finds Madison Scott. They each, you put them all together, all the attributes that they bring, that is a monster in women's basketball.
Even more impressive, too, that it's formed into a monster since Kennedy Todd Williams has transferred in. She's figured out the system, figured out her teammates, and fit right in.
And Coach O talked about how Kennedy Todd Williams, when you come from a program where you've done things a certain way for so long, you come into a new program, you're still trying to do things the old way. And really, before the Christmas break, they sat down, had a conversation, and said, okay, we tried things doing it your way. Now this is what I'm asking you to do. And Todd Williams bought in. And since then, it's really paid off for Ole Miss and the success they've had in the SEC season.
Yeah, and Kennedy Todd Williams coming over from North Carolina, spent 3 seasons there, was an All-ACC second-team selection last year, and their leading three-point shooter last year.
I enjoyed watching her play at North Carolina because of the energy that she brought all over the floor. She was an unpredictable player. She could play in at the post, but then you'd see her run the floor and be out, ready to pull the three. She would rebound with guards or posts, it didn't matter. So she fits into this Ole Miss system.
The Faru off the mark. And Duke fouled by Rita Ibakwe. That's going to be her 4th.
And the length of faith, Duke, you've got to have somebody that's going to be willing to box out. What Pat Summons say, offense sells tickets, defense wins games, rebounds wins championships. Well, rebounding is going to help decide which one of these teams advances to tomorrow.
And right now, Ole Miss +2 in the rebounding margin.
Still in a zone. Florida wanting to keep Ole Miss out of the paint.
Todd Williams, corner, pocket, called it.
That's the kind of thing that we saw her do when she was playing at North Carolina.
Well, she could light it up from 3, just the second 3 of the night for Ole Miss. We are tied at 50. Florida hasn't had a field goal in 4 minutes, and that will continue. 7-1 run for the Rebels. Adding to it, Kennedy Todd Williams, 5 straight points. Ole Miss back on top. Correa working around Suna Collins, and that ends a drought of 4.5 minutes without a field goal.
That was just the first, Kennedy Todd Williams, that was just the first 3. Now the second 3 made by Ole Miss tonight.
Reynolds blocked her from behind. Alexia Dizeko of Florida whistled for her second foul. When she talked to Coach Yo when she was looking to transfer about how she wanted to develop her game in a lot of different ways. Just get a different look after 3 seasons at North Carolina. And Coach Yo has been very open about, telling Kennedy Todd Williams. At first it was a bit of a struggle. We talked about that. She said, look, I told her in front of the team, we want you to succeed.
And I think that when you move a player to the point guard spot that has her length, has the ability to handle the basketball, make decisions from there. That just makes her a great all-around player.
Ten seconds. This will stay on the Florida side. Zippy Broughton to inbound. Faith Duke, the long two. She's got 7.
Duke doesn't shoot it often, but when she does, it seems to be at the most opportune time.
10 seconds here. Ole Miss can take the last shot of the quarter. And Madison Scott will take it with one hand to the rack. It's a 13-5 run to end the quarter for the Rebels.
And what Dawn Staley has done with a completely new starting lineup this season has been incredible for them to still be undefeated. And I think in ways, this team this year could be better than last year's team.
That's scary.
Yeah,
they certainly have more depth.
They got depth. They got shooters from the three-point line. Got a balanced offensive attack.
Well, they were able to overcome a season-high turnovers today, too, to still get that win.
Well, that's something they're going to have to clean up if they're going to want to try to go after a national championship. If they want to go after an SEC championship, they're going to take better care of the ball.
So it'll be South Carolina, Tennessee tomorrow, followed by LSU and the winner of this game.
That's not a good shot by Leilani Correa.
It was nice defense by Taya Singleton of Ole Miss. Kept straight up in her face. To your point, Correa, 12 points here, 3 for 11 from the field.
In that zone,
Todd Williams misses.
you got to pick up number 2 in orange.
And Aaliyah Matharu gets herself back to the free throw line where she's 6 for 6 tonight.
Look, when you're playing a player that is as quick as Aaliyah Matharu, you may think, I'm going to get a head start and pick her up by the time she gets to the three-point line. But what you want to do is you want to pick her up, your point of attack, as soon as she gets the ball, because if she gets a full head of steam, you can forget about it. Her momentum is going to carry to her advantage.
I just love her all-around game, how she gives it on both ends of the floor. She talked yesterday, she had that career-high 35 points. She said she wanted to come out and set the tone defensively. Right away, she took a charge to start that game.
First possession of the game.
And she said, you know what? I was really glad that wasn't a foul.
Yeah, that was either a 100% home run or a complete failure, because you don't want Aaliyah Matharu starting the game so early with a foul.
Yeah. But she didn't start with the charge, and that sparked her offense. She's got 10 of Florida's 19 second-half points. Last touch by Ole Miss.
Well, Florida's trying to take advantage of their size advantage that they have with Faith Duke. Inside, it's kind of an advantage that Tennessee has with a Tamari Key or South Carolina has with a Camila Cardoso. Because the ball, you can throw it up where nobody else can get there.
I think South Carolina's a little different, though. Camila Cardoso is 6'7".
Yes, that is true. But when you look at on the floor, the advantage that Faith Duke has.
Yes. In this game, for sure. Carissa Richardson just went over the top of her, though.
We have seen Richardson be able to produce points when her team has needed it.
Matharu! Knew when it left her hand. Layla Reynolds comes over and fouls. Did you see what happened after this play?
Well, Matharu shoots it. Madison Scott did all she could. She said, that was a good try, but you can't stop me.
I thought that's what I saw. She's got 13 points in the second half. The rest of Florida has 11.
Look, game respects game. And Aaliyah Matharu respects Madison Scott. Madison Scott, she respects Aaliyah. Madison Scott again is on Aaliyah Matharu down in the bottom right corner.
Zippy Broughton will take it though at the top. 9 points for Zippy. Marquisha Davis with the response.
Oh, here we go.
Shootout.
This is what you expect in the SEC tournament. Oh, the battle. 50-50 balls.
Both teams getting on the floor for the ball. Marquisha Davis hitting the too small. Things are picking up. Little pep in their step on both sides in the fourth quarter.
Look, this game is going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes down the stretch. You got to be disciplined with what shots to take. Good decision not to force by Madison Scott.
Taya Singleton misses. Florida's going to slow it down here, take their time. Correa calling bank.
Well, she set that whole thing up, calling for the ball screen, knowing the switch was going to be there, and she had the advantage with the quickness.
And Ole Miss takes a timeout. Marquisha Davis has a career high. A 14th 20-point game this season. That ties Angel Reese, the SEC Player of the Year, for most 20-point games in the SEC this year. Oh, Marquisha Davis just wants to keep tacking on to the career high.
Aggressive guard. And she's got just a little bit of a hang time, so the defense, they're at their weakest point when she releases her shot. The switches for Ole Miss have to be on point, otherwise Florida can take full advantage.
Matharu just a bit light on the shot. Meanwhile, Marquisha Davis for Ole Miss has 8 of the Rebels' 10 points here in the fourth quarter. Scott rejecting the screen.
Oh, Tyson, she walked.
And then a blocking foul on Matharu, which would be her 4th. She's holding the back of her head. And playing so hard on both ends of the floor. She'll walk off holding the back of her head.
Oh, wow. She was trying to take a charge on Marquisha Davis. I think she got there late. Marquisha Davis had already left the floor, but that was a solid collision. You step up and you say, I'm going to win this game for Aaliyah Matharu.
What kind of response does Florida have? We will find out here in the last 4 minutes and 38 seconds with a semifinal spot on the line.
And if Florida's going to pull this off, I think it's going to be Leilani Correa and also Zippy Broughton.
Marquisha Davis just hit those 2 free throws. She is the 5th Rebel with 30 points in SEC tournament history. She's got 31.
Zippy Broughton and Leilani Correa are going to have to be the main offense for the Florida Gators.
You see Kelly Ray Finley talking to Leilani Correa and Layla Reynolds.
And then we got to see how Ole Miss and the three-headed monster, how they can operate to advance the Rebels to the semifinals.
Does it change anything for Ole Miss defensively, knowing Aaliyah Matharu's not on the floor and maybe their main option is Correa?
With this lineup for Ole Miss, they can switch. I would switch 2 through 5. I would not switch with Stevenson.
Marquisha Davis has scored the last 10 points for Ole Miss. She's at the bottom of the screen, waiting in the corner. Out of bounds off of Florida. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Stevenson's a freshman, but I like the composure and how she's played today.
She's getting them really good minutes.
And she's had a presence defensively. She's made some really good decisions.
Eight seconds. Madison Scott trying to cook. Turns it over.
That's where Madison Scott's got to know who she is. Shot clock's running down. She has to make a play. Can't get in a position where it's an emergency. Got to give it up.
Kick to Correa in the corner. Floater is off. And back the other way towards the Rebels.
Ooh, this is going to be a nail biter all the way to the end.
It was a 1-point game at the half. The drama has continued in the second half.
That's what we love about the SEC tournament.
Ole Miss projected to be a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. Florida not in the field, but you wouldn't know it by how they're playing. They're playing like an NCAA tournament team.
Hungry. Playing hungry.
Rebels keep it.
Florida's really packing in with that zone. So one way that you can beat that, instead of trying to take the ball to the middle of the floor, use some step-up screens, driving to the baseline.
That's Madison Scott knowing who she is.
Here she comes. That's one of the developments of Scott throughout her career, is understanding how good she is.
Zippy Broughton's pretty good too.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, Broughton, Correa are gonna battle the three-headed monster of the Ole Miss Rebels.
Zippy Broughton with 12 points, one of 3 Gators in double figures.
Let her cook.
Baseball pass up ahead to Correa on the run.
Terrific delivery by Broughton.
She has 18 points, Leilani Correa.
This is about 80 feet. And Broughton put it right on the money to Leilani Correa. Touchdown.
If only if it were worth 6 points. What a difference one night makes. Leilani Correa just 3 points last night. Of course, Aaliyah Matharu had 35 for Florida. But tonight, 18 for Correa. Past her season average.
Oh, the defense is tightened up for the Gators. That's been a problem for Ole Miss.
And Coach Yo's going to have to use a timeout as Marquisha Davis was stuck.
Of how it's going to turn out.
Well, we'll let you know what happens in 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Right here for it. Florida's in a bit of a pickle foul-wise.
Good to see Leah Matharu back on the bench right now.
And guys, she spent a lot of time back there getting treatment, training staff, medical staff going back into the locker room to keep checking on her. It was a slow walkout, but she gave me that look in the eye, that head nod, and I was like, okay, she's ready to go.
Madison Scott got it back.
The rebounding edge, it slants to the Ole Miss Rebels.
14 ties, 7 lead changes tonight in this game. 2 minutes to go. Taya Singleton, up and in for Maddie Scott. Get that woman to the free throw line.
Madison Scott, 14 rebounds tonight. Her versatility, she does so much, so many different things, but nothing more important than how she cleans the glass for the Rebels.
Second foul on Leilani Correa. And here comes Aaliyah Matharu back in the game. Moments ago, she took a hard fall trying to take a charge. We saw her hit the back of her head on the floor, but she is back for the Gators. 22 points for her tonight. Nine points in the second half for Madison Scott as she completes the three-point play.
Look at Madison Scott all over the glass.
And that ties her season high, 14 boards. I think the officials are going to talk about this. No, it will be a foul on Jariah Warren. Her second.
Kennedy Todd Williams, you saw the look of relief when the official called that for a foul, because I think she thought she traveled too.
Yeah, she did. 1, 2, 3 steps.
Kelly Ray Finley thought so also.
Seven for 7 from the free throw line for Kennedy Todd Williams.
If you got to make your free throws if you want to advance to the semifinals.
First time that she's missed, but the offensive board for Madison Scott.
It's 15 boards today.
A new season high for Scott. Under 90 seconds to play to decide who's moving on. Oh, turn around, sink it, Scott. A 7-0 run, the largest lead for the Rebels. Ole Miss ball. Ole Miss basketball, they'll also double check the clock and make sure it's okay.
I think there was a block there. It's that one there. That's close. I think that may be off Stevenson. You see how Stevenson's hand came forward?
Oh, yeah, but Aaliyah Matharu, that's her
Matharu
pinky.
got her.
Yeah, the last touch, that was a great look.
Good thing we got 2 sets of eyes over here.
Call on the floor is confirmed, white ball.
For the Ole Miss Rebels, as they have kicked it into high gear here in this fourth quarter. Third on Zippy Bratton. Florida already has 5 team fouls, so any foul puts Ole Miss at the free throw line.
But now still, it's 1:05, so Kelly Ray Finley can't use her timeout to advance the basketball. So they've still got to bring it the length of the floor. What Ole Miss has to do on a make right here, make or miss, they want to try to make Florida take as much time as possible bringing the ball down the floor. And the last thing that Ole Miss wants to do is foul. They don't want to stop the clock. And Florida's got to go quick.
Down by 8. Marquisha Davis with the steal. And then Florida fouls Davis. Marquisha Davis adding to her 32 points with a steal.
The quickness. Marquisha Davis understanding that Florida wanted to get the ball to Leah Matharu. She slipped on the sideline, and Marquisha was the benefactor.
$33 points now from Marquisha Davis.
Kelly Ray Finley, I would call a timeout in advance that you got 2.
She does. So Florida looking to score quick. Matharu coming around.
You got to get a bucket. You don't have time to waste.
She'll put up the 3. It's going to be blocked by Marquisha Davis, and now Florida's got a foul.
Well, you get the ball to your best free throw shooter, Kennedy Todd Williams.
She's 9 for 10 tonight from the free throw line.
Normally 77% on the season, but she has been perfect tonight. That's where you want to have the ball in her hands.
It's been a minute since the Ole Miss Rebels defeated an SEC opponent 3 times in one season. In fact, it was in 1991 against their rival, Mississippi State. They got 2 wins against Florida this year, 44 seconds away from a third.
In Florida, Kelly Ray Finley's probably going to use her last timeout to advance the ball. I almost would save it. If you can get it off a miss or a make, just get it in and bring it full speed.
She will go ahead and use it. So you said look for Leah Matharu. She is under the basket right now for the Gators, guarded by Marquisha Davis.
The down screen, pinned down. She's got to turn and look for her shot. Ooh.
And Marquisha Davis fouls Faith Duke behind the 3-point line, so she gets 3 shots coming. That's the 4th on Davis. So we're looking to see if it's a 3 or a 2. I thought watching it live she was behind the arc.
Oh, her toes on the line. She only gets 2. Maybe Marquisha Davis doesn't get forgiven by Coach O.
Duke misses the first. Remember, Florida does not have any timeouts. You expect them to foul right away?
They have to. I don't think that Coach O is going to use her timeout either to advance the ball. You know that Florida's got a foul right away.
That foul is on Duke, and that's her 5th. Been through so much this season, having that shoulder surgery this summer.
If I'm Ole Miss, I'm pulling everybody off the line and everybody matching up with a Florida Gator. And I'm employing all of my players, do not foul, don't even risk it. Marquisha Davis, just not a smart play.
Oh, it was a foul on Marquisha Davis, her 4th.
Now, Ole Miss has had a foul to give.
Yes. Oh, they foul again.
You got to be more disciplined than that. Like, you got to practice those in-the-game situations, especially when you're in the postseason. You can't make those kind of mental mistakes.
I think we saw this game change when Leah Matharu went out with that injury. It was tied at 66 all with 4:38 to go. She came down hard, hit her head. And in the second half of this 4th quarter, we have seen Ole Miss just surge.
You had Marquisha Davis, who's had a phenomenal game. There for a second, Kennedy Todd Williams. She had a spurt there where she brought it for Ole Miss. And then Madison Scott.
There's about a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and Florida is not going to foul. It's been a while since Ole Miss beat the same SEC opponent 3 times in one season, since 1991. But that changes tonight in Greenville. The Rebels ending this game on a 14-3 run. Shot clock violation, 0.3 on the clock. It's so fun, we don't want it to end.
I know, this has been a good one.
Third straight semifinal in the SEC tournament for Coach Yo and the Rebels.
The defense really picked up in the second half, and then the Rebels